Hello, you guys. Welcome back. It is a Wednesday for you. It is a Saturday for us, and we never record on a Saturday. And it's kind of worked out because my COVID brain was literally non-functional this entire week. So
Mm.
yesterday, if we recorded, it might have been a doozy. Like, I don't know. Today, it might be a doozy.
It would have been like Sick and Silly part two,
Part
but
two.
we couldn't do like one after. Although we got some really good feedback, it was like the funniest episode ever. That's what happens when your brain, my brain, was literally filled with like snot, and I could not think. I could like I cannot believe we did that. I was so sick.
You literally were. And then after you were like, oh, I just like whatever you took, you're like, oh my God, I can breathe now. Then I'm
Oh
like,
yeah,
oh, you know what? But I was happy you didn't do it before because like the vibes were the silliest and
they
it was
were.
iconic.
They were truly.
I was telling, okay, so like Maddie and I were planning, we're talking about a couple of things, couple of guests like we're having come on. It's super exciting. And
Mhm.
I was saying how my sister is coming home this month. So this is our first episode of the month. And this month is exciting because my sister comes home the 9th, and I haven't seen her in like a year. And then I'm going wedding dress shopping the 13th. And I'm like so excited. And we're gonna record with my sister, but my parents live in Boston and she is like stays there when she comes home. Um, and I was on the phone with her earlier, and
Mhm.
my dad has two trucks, and neither of them are like good quality.
Why?
Like they're so old. Like he's a
Oh.
painter, and like
Uh-huh.
this is a callback to the last episode. The cars are shitty. So one
Uh-huh.
of his trucks is like the same age as me, maybe 26 years old. And then
Oh.
his other truck is like the new truck. We always joke around. It's
Mhm.
like 20 years old.
Do they have like, different rules and where do your parents live? New Hampshire?
No, Mass. They live in Boston.
Oh, do they have different rules about like, 'cause, like some states, like for example,
I mean, you have to like, get it
Ohio?
inspected, like if it doesn't pass
Oh,
inspection. But
okay.
he's like got this mechanic that comes to our house on speed
Ah,
dial. And I'm like,
yeah.
Dad, all of the money you've put in, just like get something better. And he's like, well, it's like a paint truck. I don't want to get a new truck and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
Yeah.
whatever. Like, so my sister doesn't have a car here. She doesn't live here. My dad is like, oh, I'm fixing up the truck for you. Like the
Mhm.
older truck, like the truck that's like fucking ancient. The window doesn't go down.
Uh-huh.
The radio doesn't work, which is like whatever. There's no AC, and like he used to drive like
Oh
his
my
like
God.
workers in that car,
Mhm.
and they like my dad doesn't smoke anymore, but like his like friends who like work for him would be literally
Mhm.
smoking in the car when the windows don't go down, and my
Oh.
dad would be like, open up the door. So like they're driving like with the door kind of open. I'm like, Kate, I was like, no, I was like, are you really gonna cruise around in that? And she goes, well, I don't really have a choice. Like, I don't have a car. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I
I
can't.
mean,
I have to send you fucking pictures because Miss Ma'am, that thing is literally so insane. It is insane. And Kate's gonna be
I
driving it. Little Katie cruising down the street, driving this
wait,
literal
is her name
shitbox.
Kate or Katie?
It's Kate, but I call her Katie Lou, Katie, Catherine,
Gotcha.
whatever we're feeling in the mood. It used to
Mhm.
be like a diss. Like I used to call her Catherine when she was being a bitch. And
Mhm.
then she would call me Ellen because she thought that
Ellen.
name was ugly. So like I was like, okay, like I was like, that's not even like an extension of my name. And she goes, yeah, but you hate it. And I'm like, true. So yeah, but now the lovingness is like Katie Lou or Katie. So colloquially in the family, oh, have you talked to Katie Lou?
That's funny. That's
And
cute.
I'm Big Al.
Big Big L.
It's what I am. What do you have like weird family nicknames?
Yeah, so I think I got mine because I like bit my sister when I was little, and so yeah, I never told you this. Mice is my nickname. Everyone called me Mice. Mhm,
Oh my God.
mhm. My mom has always called me Madison. Same with my dad. No one really calls me Madison.
Your full government.
Literally. I don't think. I think I can't even remember. I think Bree still calls me Mice, but yeah.
Oh my God.
Mhm. Yeah,
That is literally insane. You're just going
I
around
know.
biting her and you get this kind of iconic
Mhm.
nickname. Like, let's be real.
Yeah, it was a good nickname. Like all of her friends called me it. Like, because we had a lot of friends that had a younger sibling around my
Yeah.
age, you know. So
Yeah.
like the older one always called me Mice. My grandma called me Mice. Yeah.
Oh my God. I love that. I
Mhm.
love a good nickname.
Yeah. What's
Do you?
Do I? Yeah. I mean, what's
I
James'
love a
nickname?
nickname. Oh, I call him Jim when I'm trying to be serious, but like not
Yeah.
really. Like I'll be like, oh, come on, Jim. Or
Mhm.
I call him like Jameson or just James. Like he just it's if anything, it's Jim, which is like not really like silly
Mhm.
goofy, but like to me and Kate and my mom and like my friend, my bestie gal Caroline, like we if we're like joking around, we'll be like, all right, Jim. And like it's just kind of funny because like he's totally a James. Like he is
Mhm.
not a Jim. Like to me that seems silly if I call
Mhm.
him like if that were to be his name because he's just a James. But yeah, he doesn't really have any crazy nicknames. So
Hmm.
yeah. Maybe our
Alright.
kids will have these insane nicknames.
Since we're actually recording the first of the month episode, like at the very end of the previous month, did
Yeah.
you do anything super fun this month?
Like low key this last week, like so since last Saturday, I've been sick. So I feel like I lost like
Mm,
a good chunk of time and
mhm.
but because like I feel like we had like we were gonna do like fun stuff and this weekend was supposed to be nice and it ended up not like really being nice. Like it looks like really stormy outside right now.
Ooh, so was ours. It was just raining earlier.
Oh really?
Yeah, and it was, like, coming down hard. I'm like, "Are they
Oh, on
gonna
the
hear that?"
skylight.
Mhm,
Yeah. No, we like I really can't even think to this last month. I mean, I got a new car. That was
mhm,
exciting.
mhm,
But after other than that, I like can't think of anything crazy. And
mhm.
I don't know if that's just like being like an adult. We got our save the dates in the mail. So like that's exciting.
Ooh,
But
ooh.
so like
So, bitch, if I don't get mine.
I'm trying to make sure my address isn't on it. I have this box. I did like half of them. Um, I think you'll find it funny what I like wrote on for your name. Like I did your
Mm.
name because like that, but then I had a little, wrote a little something something.
Ooh.
Um, but yeah, I'm super, super excited about that. So I was like writing them last night and I
Mhm,
was like, holy shit, like this just like makes it feel like so much more real
mhm,
because like,
mhm.
we've been kind of looking at them for a while because I'm just like a crazy planner.
I don't
So
think you're a crazy planner, you're just planning a wedding, that's what you have to
that's
do. I
true.
mean, you
But I,
want.
I, I think I, I like to plan far ahead because I know I'll change my mind and I want to give myself the space to change my mind.
Mm.
So like
Do you do that with everything?
pardon me?
Do you do that with everything?
No, no. Like I do a lot of things like on a whim. Like I always dye my hair on a whim. And I never regret that, but like with like design things or like paint
Mhm,
color, like things like that, I like to give myself the space to like commit to something and be like, no, I actually want to change that. And then it
mhm,
usually ends up being what I like. But yeah.
mhm,
June was a little uneventful, but that's
mhm.
okay. I'm okay with that because like what else am I supposed to do about that?
Yeah, and being sick always, like, I was sick last when I came back from Denver, so, like, that
Yeah.
was, like, my May and beginning of June, so I get that.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. When we recorded that.
Uh, yep,
That's
yep.
crazy. Did you do anything crazy? Well, you went to Texas. That was awesome.
I was in the great state of Texas, yep. It literally looked like West Virginia. I'm like, "Am I in West Virginia?" Because where I was at, Lacey's house shooting with her husband, and they live, like, I don't not the boonies, but, like, they live with more space,
Yeah.
because their daughter needs more access with her wheelchair or her walker. So their house is like wider,
Yeah.
and you have to live like farther out, into the
Yeah.
whatever to have that space. But yeah, it was so fun. It was like a whim of a trip, basically. I was like, oh, I guess I'm going, and I was there like Wednesday to Sunday. I have a great, oh my God, I think I told you the airport, how I literally almost killed myself to get on the plane. All I have to say is a man telling me I can't accomplish something,
I'm going to
that
do it.
that puts a fire up my butt. Like I am going to do that. Long story short, I didn't get the memo that in the Pittsburgh airport, they're doing all this reconstruction, so the lines to get through TSA are, like, completely fucked. And I have pre-check because I'm a sane person, that makes the most sense, like, instead of waiting in line forever. So I get downstairs because 'cause I'm not checking a bag. I get downstairs and I was like, "Oh my god." Like, the last time it was that bad is when we were going to St. Thomas and Joel doesn't have pre-check and we had to wait in line. I was like, and it was, like, bad, like, all the way down, like,
Yeah.
bad, 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 bad. So anyway,
With
again,
pre-check, he can't go with you?
no, he has to have pre-check.
Oh.
Sometimes
I
they'll
think
let you.
pre-COVID you could,
Oh, I didn't know
because
that.
a couple of times, like, um when my friend was graduating from like BMT for the in the Air Force,
Mhm.
her whole family went. I went with them, and her dad has pre-check, and we all just skirted through. And then another time somebody
Yeah.
had pre-check and we skirted through, but I haven't flown since
Mm.
2019, so like RIP. I don't know, but that is kind of crazy to me, like that
Mhm.
they don't, like, a spouse can't like go along
Sometimes. It
sometimes. Okay.
depends. Yeah, we got that at leaving St. Thomas, they let us do that.
Oh,
I don't think it's a given though, it's just like if you're with a friendly TSA agent.
do you need a passport to go to St. Thomas?
No,
Okay.
no. Yeah, no,
I
it's
feel
a
like
US
stupid
territory.
asking that. Yeah.
No, no, the same thing with Puerto Rico, I'm pretty sure we
Right.
don't get it as US territory, but yeah, St. Thomas is, and the Virgin
Mm,
Islands are, US Virgin
mm,
Islands.
mm.
So anywho, I because I should have gotten there earlier, but Joel didn't wanna wake up much earlier, which I understand. Long story short, I should have gotten a freaking Uber and got my ass there way earlier than I did. I got there at 5:30 AM, my flight started boarding at 5:45. I know. I learned my mistake.
You never disclose that
I know.
information in
I
the text.
know.
15 minutes? You gave
Because
yourself
I
15 minutes?
because I
I would be shitting, pissing, vomiting, like,
I was. I called him, I was the devil. I don't even care because partially it was his fault.
yeah.
And I felt really bad. I got behind this angel of a man and he was like, "Don't worry, you're gonna make it. I know you will." And I was like, "I hope so." There was a family in front of me and they're like, "Am I in the right line? Do I have
Oh
TSA?" And I
God.
go, "Let me see it." And I was like, "No, over there." I don't even give a shit. It was like a family of like 10. I'm like, I need all the spaces I can get to get forward.
Yeah, girl, move it along.
Literally. So they open a separate one, and the guy's like, "Let's go." I was like, "I'm following you." So we go up into a separate one, and they open an extra TSA. A guy in front of me was like, "Am I gonna make it to the TSA?" "Oh, you'll be fine." I'm gonna ask him. I'm like, "Am I gonna make it?" And he goes, "That's more than 10 minutes away from where you're standing. They
Ah!
stopped they stopped boarding in 10 minutes. You're not gonna make it." And I was like, "Oh my god." So I was like, "I have to make this flight, otherwise I couldn't get an Uber to Lacey's house. It would have been me waiting for hours at the airport, like for hours and hours and hours." I'm like, "Does that make sense?"
Why wouldn't you be able to get an Uber?
There aren't Ubers to her house. I told you it's out in the
Oh, oh, oh,
yes.
oh,
So I had to make that flight or my ass was sitting at the airport for hours. Yeah.
oh.
So I start going through TSA. I'm like, "Can I skip you? Can I skip you, please?" And like, "Yeah, sure." And they're like, "Hold on, ma'am. We're doing a switch of people. You have to wait a few minutes." I was
Ah,
like, "Ah!"
I don't have time.
Thank God I packed perfectly. My stuff went right through. I fucking sprint. There was a lady standing on the escalator. I'm like, you need to go down. I have to get on that tram right away. I'm on the tram. I'm like, okay, as soon as it stops, I'm fucking running. I sprint. You know, I don't do a ton of cardio. I walk. I sprinted up 2 escalators. I have a bag and a small carry on. If I could have ran that way, it would have been easier. I was
Yeah.
like holding on to it was and there was a guy in front of me, same thing. He was sprinting too, but he had a backpack on. And I was like, oh God, I wish I only had a backpack.
Yeah.
I sprinted so fucking hard. I had a smoker's cough for like 10 hours. That's how hard I sprinted. I get to the thingy, the gate, and I'm like, please, and the door is open. I'm like, please don't close it. And it was this super sweet guy. He's like, are you Maddie Martinez? I'm like, I am. He's like, don't worry, go in. I'm like, it's me.
Jessica.
I get in
Oh
there.
my God.
So many people were fucked. The plane. What the heck? Hold on. Am
What?
I still recording?
Yeah.
Oh, it just, I don't know what happened, but it said like, okay, hold on. I don't know what's happening to my computer right now. Okay, we're back.
What the heck,
Um,
dog?
I don't know. I know. They were so backed up, not even a fourth of the plane was full. No
Oh,
one made their flight. They left
shit.
without.
Well, I
So
mean that kind of works out for you. Did you get like some extra like seat room?
I should have, but like I was just like trying to just get in, like get my spot. I'm like, damn, I could have like moved around anywhere, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I my brain was like, get on the plane, get in your seat, get on the plane, get in your seat, you know.
Oh
So
my
thank you to
God.
that TSA agent who said you will not make it because, sir, I will prove you wrong.
Because I motherfucking did.
I
Oh my
did.
God. No, that is insane. That is like
Yep.
I
Yep.
envision you like running Home Alone style through the airport.
It was even more crazy. I looked like a fucking crazy person. And then I think like all the like food places, they always do this. They're like, run, you'll make it. I think they're screaming. I'm like, ah, ah, like I don't even know. I couldn't it hurt my lungs so bad. I was like, just keep going, just keep running, you will make it. Like and by golly, I made it. But
That's
but
crazy.
yeah, I'm never again doing that, and, we're gonna be at the thing so early from now on. My next flight's not till next-ish month, so we're gonna be early for that, but Texas was awesome, never been there. My parents met in Dallas, Texas, actually.
Oh, really?
Mhm, yep. My mom was going to art school, and so was my dad, and they met in their apartment building. Mhm.
A little meet cute at the apartment.
Literally. A little, non-verbal meet cute because my dad couldn't speak English. But, I was shooting guns, and it was so fun, so fun. Like, I haven't done, like, any kind of tactical training before, and,
Yeah.
I was talking to Christopher about, like, the tactical world, and you know how there's, like, the CrossFit Games?
Yeah, yeah.
They have the tactical games now. So it's all like shooting, target, like all kinds of stuff like that. I'm like, that's so cool. And then there was a guy there training for the tactical games. So he looked like a
Oh.
CrossFitter and there was a guy training him how to shoot and how to hold gun. It was super cool. So we were
Oh,
talking
wow.
to them and we were talking to them for a little bit, but we shot for like 2.5 hours. I think I shot like 400 rounds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I
Were
typically
you
will shoot
like, are you
like
sore after?
yeah, I have like a little mark from where the AR was like holding on my arm. But yeah, my hands were sore and just like focusing my eyes after a while. I
Mm,
was just like, because you're just trying to, focus and not close one eye, keep both of them open. But yeah, I was a little bit sore and being in the sun,
mm,
I got a little burnt too. So I'm not used to being in the sun like that. I didn't have
yeah.
like the proper attire, but also I wanted to like show off my back when I was shooting, so I couldn't like cover it up.
You're like,
Um,
for the content.
for the content. I have yet to post a lot of those pictures, but yeah, it was so fun. But yeah, my hands were definitely like I'm used to shooting like 100, 150 rounds at once, so like 4 times that was a lot for me.
That's crazy. You want to see an insane picture of my dad shooting?
Yeah.
He like doesn't know, like he doesn't care to shoot. He
Mhm,
has no interest, but like every year when we go to this vacation
mhm,
house with my best friend and like her family, like the one I did pre-check with, um, the boys always go shooting. And it's not like a girls aren't allowed. It's just the girls don't care.
Mhm.
We like to do other stuff. Where the fuck is it? But my dad, so he'll go with the boys, and James has fun. You know, James is pretending he's like, I don't know, like being a cool guy. I don't know. It's like kind of cringy. Um, and then like they like all take pictures of each other, and like three of them are like veterans, so like they just like get a kick out of it. And then my dad is just over here like being fucking my dad, and it's so weird. If I can't find
Mhm.
it, I have to send it to you after because like it's actually like it's low key like crazy. I'm like, Dad, you look like a psychopath, but it like in a psychopath in the way of like he looks so out of place. It's
Mm.
really funny. I'm gonna try and find it.
Mhm.
You keep talking.
Cool things we have coming up for the pod this month. We have
Yeah.
a guest interview with Maddy Durkin. He has an interesting past with fundraising, with the Real Housewives world, with lots of good stuff. Yeah, that was a good conversation, even though my connection was like in and out the whole time. We still made it work.
Dude, that was literally so annoying and obviously
I
not
know.
your fault or whatever. But it was like we're having these great conversation and Maddie is like Maddie with a D
Yeah.
is cutting in and out and I'm like, "No, like come
I
on."
know.
Like
Well, I have a better setup next time I'm in Denver. I'm getting like office space that comes with
right,
my
because you were in
yeah.
Denver.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'll have much better connection next time. So and better lighting too, so we won't have to feel like we're
Right, because
slumping
it was
it.
well then you had to go off your phone.
Oh God, it was such a mess. Yeah, so that's coming up. That's next episode, and then we have a new deep dive. This month, I am running the deep dive, and me and Allie are doing it, so we're not telling each other what it is. Last time, I think I brought up the topic,
Yeah,
and she did the deep dive, and so this time, I picked the topic. It's on health, of course, and then she has no idea about
I have
it.
no
So
idea.
yeah, that's going to be a two-part episode because there's a lot to cover with it. What else do we have? And then.
We and also with the deep dives, comment if you're watching the YouTube or message us. What do
Mhm.
you want to see also? Because I
Mhm.
think it's so interesting when like
Mhm.
podcasts cover like the topics that I'm like, oh my God, that's insane. Like it gets me so
Mhm.
juiced. So if there's
Mhm.
something that you think would be really interesting and that you like
Yep.
think would pertain to the podcast, like
Yep.
drop it below because these deep dives, like we were like having like so much fun with. And now
Mhm.
that I don't know what Maddie's gonna be doing,
Yeah.
I'm
I
like,
think
okay.
it's gonna be a really good one, and also I think it's going to upset people because it's something that's still popular now. But yeah, I'm excited for that.
Upset people.
So
Listen.
we'll see about that. Oh, we're recording with Allie's sister, Kate. So that's
Oh
gonna be super
my
fun.
God.
Traveling as a single woman because she travels and lives in Thailand, correct?
She moved to Thailand in 2019 and she was there for several years and then she moved to Vietnam. So
Mm,
she's in Vietnam
mm,
currently.
mhm.
And I think she's going back to Bangkok before she comes home, but I don't know where she will be next. I think she's going to, her and my mom are going to South Africa for a wedding in
Oh, wow.
January.
Who do you know
Yeah.
from there?
Pardon me? So when my sister was studying abroad in Madrid, she met one of her friends there
Oh, cool.
and she got married last summer, but her husband I think he's from South Africa. So they're doing like a traditional wedding there.
Oh,
So,
cool.
yeah, my mom was her plus one. Like she was invited, but it was like her plus one. And
Yeah.
so they're gonna go to South Africa together and it'll be like I think they're going for like a month and a half or something. which is like so crazy. And I have a feeling like I think she'll probably stay there for a little bit
Mhm.
because she's out of her fucking mind. But there is a way that like she, to me, it's like so crazy, like how like she plans all this and how she kind of just like does things and it's just kind of very
Mhm.
spontaneous. But I think there's a lot of thought genuinely behind it. And so we have these conversations sometimes, and I'm like, you're just fucking wild. But I'm actually excited to hear, like, for you to have a perspective because like you like to
Mhm.
travel a lot and you like to do things. Obviously, not my vibe in the current chapter of my life. But I always find it interesting. And we're very, very much alike and also so polar opposite,
Mhm.
which is crazy. Sister things. But I think it'll
Mhm.
be really fun because
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like, girl, you are doing too much. You are stressing me out.
I get that. I get that a lot. But yeah, that will be super fun to talk to her. Oh, I'm going to be a guest on Renegade Nutrition podcast next Friday. So that will be a cool interview, talking about building muscle and lifting and
Mm,
passion in life. So that will be fun. And yeah, those are like the only big things that I have family in right now, and it's like a million children at once. It's like, whoa, is a lot of them. But
So I always mean to ask this and I forget.
mhm,
Do
mhm.
you like kids?
Um, yeah, I guess I don't like all the stages of
Right.
them, like sticky and dirty and gross. I don't like that stage.
Yeah.
Um, like I know being bratty is like part of just like, the terrible twos, stuff like that. But like I just don't have the patience for that.
Yep.
Like that just like drives me insane. Like, for example, one of my nieces, the nephew was opening his birthday present and she wanted it. And I was like, let him play with it first. And she was having like a meltdown. I'm like, whose present is it? Well, she's I don't know how old I don't know how old they are, like 5 maybe or something. And I'm like, it's not your birthday present, it's his. Let him. And she was so pissed, went right to her mom and was like, I'm like,
Yep.
because I took her brother's birthday present from her. So
Yeah.
that kind of stuff I just don't have like the bandwidth for. But my other nieces, like they're at like a older fun age where it's like that kind of stuff isn't like
Yeah.
as, they're not doing that kind of stuff. So I guess it just depends like what age they are. And but yeah, there's nothing more that I hate than like being out in public and there's like full on bratty kids as a result of like the parenting style.
Yeah. 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 I I always say this like to my friend. She has a 3.5-year old. He's almost 3.5. Um, or was I saying this to my mom? One of them. I think I said it to both of them. But
Mhm.
like the screaming, the crying, it does
Mhm.
not dysregulate me, right?
Hmm.
There are certainly times, and like, of course, I don't have a baby 24/7.
Mhm.
But with like the experience that I do have and like with the family that I'm with right now, it doesn't like it doesn't phase me. I'm just like,
Hmm.
I don't know, for some reason I can be completely calm and I'm like, I hear you. It's totally okay. We're having big emotions and we're frustrated and like that's okay, but we're
Mhm.
not going to scream in my ear. We're just not going to
Mm.
do that. And
Yeah.
obviously to a certain age, baby might not listen, but me and my 2-year-olds right now, we're vibing. We
Hmm.
vibe. I don't know. I just it doesn't totally bother me. My sister, I don't know if she'll have kids, but she literally can't, like she just gets like and annoyed. Like she's a teacher.
Yeah.
So I think her youngest class is like kindergartners, which like
Oh.
they're old enough where they're not like you don't have to change a diaper or anything like that. Like she literally
Mhm.
cannot do that. Like she will like be like, I can't do this. We used to babysit together. At like 9 years old, I was changing diapers because like we would go together and like she would like be like, come with me and I'll give you half the money. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because she'd be like 12. And she would literally couldn't do it. She's like, this is disgusting. And I'm like, you are just like, I don't even know if you like totally love kids. She's like, of course I love children. And I'm like, you love children, but like, I don't know how you are with like infants. I can't.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely like different. Like I don't mind like Lacey's daughters, like they were great. Like the one's a little bit older, and she's like when I was leaving, I'm like, I'm leaving. She's like, I know. I'm like, cool, okay.
I love the sass.
I know. It was like sass but not sass. And then the other one is on the autism spectrum and she's nonverbal. And we were hanging out in the pool. I was throwing her in the pool, and she's very like, you are her person or you do not exist.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was her person. Don't know
Oh,
why. I'm not like calling out to children to love me. You know what I mean? But yeah, we were hanging out in the pool. I was throwing her. She was having a good old time. And I'm like, oh, that's fun. Like I could do, that. It's not like I hate children. I'm just like not like for me, oh, like just that
yeah.
lifelong commitment. No, thank you. Like that type of thing. We're not about
Yeah. I always
that.
think it's so interesting. Um, like when we were younger, me, my sister, and my best friend, we were always like, oh, Allie will probably have kids first because like I've just like always wanted kids. And then
Mhm.
like she got pregnant during the pandemic and I was like, bitch, I was supposed to have kids first. And then also I'm not ready to have a kid right now. And we were supposed to have kids together. And then I'm like, when I get pregnant, like you need to get pregnant. Like I need to have a pregnancy pact with somebody. Did you ever see
Yeah.
the show on Lifetime or that movie?
What show?
Pregnancy pact. It was like
No.
based off of like a real like life thing. It was like in mass. And like all these like high school girls had like a pregnancy pact. But I think then I don't know
I
how
kind
many
of
actually
remember
got
hearing
pregnant.
about it.
So weird, right?
Oh God, no. I think someone from my high school just had a baby. I like was looking through Facebook and I was just like, oh, and then kept going.
Yeah, yeah,
And I was
yeah.
like, oh my gosh, like it's just like it is wild to think that. I'm like,
It's
thank
like
you.
it's a whole new world. Like it's a game changer. Like getting married or like moving or going through a divorce or meeting someone new. Like all of these like life changes, these things are big, but like once you like bring a fucking kid into the equation, it's like everything's different. Like you are
Mhm,
now not your own person. Like your body isn't
mhm.
even your own, which is like so fucking crazy. But I think I'm like
Yeah.
the type of person that's like delusional about like motherhood. I'm like it will be great and perfect because like this is what I'm meant to do.
I don't think that's delusional, and we didn't really have like a topic for today, but we can definitely talk about mindset because I've been
Yeah. Ooh,
thinking about this a lot, and I have two clients that we are working on some mindset things.
sure.
And I think the right amount of delusion or the right amount of just trust in yourself to do
Right.
something is
Right.
what makes people like truly successful. For example, or keeps you back. For example, was talking to a one-on-one and our goals for this. She was like kind of was in this little like I don't want to say trauma loop, but in a bubble of just like falling short of her goal and what she wanted to accomplish, and she couldn't like get out of that hole. And it's like, oh, I'm
Yep.
gonna keep going, and then you do something wrong in your eyes, and you fall back a couple steps. And so we were just like, let's just focus on water. Then drinking one bottle of water, and the next thing you know, it was like she was doing 3 to 4 a day, and that was no problem. And then like, let's just focus on tracking protein. And she's like, I just suck at tracking protein. And then I was like, let's this week, every time you speak about yourself in a
Mm,
derivative, right? A definitive term, definitive, not derivative, definitive term as I suck or I can't do this. I want you to write it down and then pull the string on it. Okay, why do I suck at tracking? Okay, I'm sucking at tracking in my mind because I'm not hitting a goal. Okay, well, why am I, what is the goal?
right.
Who is putting that pressure on me,
Yep.
Because what if I don't hit that goal? What do I think is going to happen? The house is going to burn. So just pulling the string on like when you're not meeting an expectation, who's putting that pressure on you? And what
Right.
at the end of the day, nothing's going to truly happen if you don't meet that goal. It's just all this unnecessary pressure. And so I'm
Totally.
like, if we stop saying I suck or I can't do this, then you won't suck, because if you keep saying, "I'm not a morning person," you will
Yep.
never be a morning person. Never.
Yep.
My mom was the same way with that. And have you found that, like, I've done that to myself. Have you done that to yourself? Like, "I suck, I can't do this."
Oh, totally. Totally. And one interesting thing is that weightlifting has made me be less and less and less of that person
Mhm,
because especially when I'm doing like a 1 rep max test, right? I'm like, okay,
mhm,
what can I actually accomplish? Like for 1 rep, how much can I actually accomplish? And
mhm,
then, I hits a new high and I'm like, wow, that felt amazing. So then every time I'm going into the gym after that, I'm like, I know what my body's capable of. This weight looks heavy. And I used to be
mhm,
like, I can't fucking do, no fucking way. No way I can do this. And then it's like, okay, after years and years of you doing it and you see yourself
mhm,
get stronger, it no longer rings in my head, I can't do this. It's like, all right, let's see how many reps I can do. And so
mhm.
that switches. And that not only stays in the gym, but it carries out to all of these other
Yep.
facets of life, like with our business. We talk about this all the time. If you like scrolled through our text, you're seeing like Maddie and I like cheer each other on. Like one of us is feeling some type of way, and then it's like, no, but you actually can do this. And like
Mhm,
it carries out through every area of life because there's always going to be that feeling of like, is this the right thing? What if it doesn't turn out okay? Or what if I embarrass myself?
mhm,
Whatever the thought may be. And having the ability to say, but that's not necessarily true, right? It could
mhm,
not work out, but it also could. And so if you can lean into more of the, it is going to work out, it may not be easy, it might be a little bit of a rocky road, but it still can work out. And it's
mhm,
going to 100% not work out if I keep willing that into my brain, because your brain's just going
mhm.
to start to be like, well, you can't fucking do it. And you're not going to show up and do it. So, yeah,
You're
totally.
gonna show up in the attitude that you are, like, telling yourself. Like, there's a reason
Yeah.
why I have daily affirmations now, because I'm like, the brain and the mind is so powerful. I mean,
Yep.
there is so many studies, not that I literally know any off the top of my head, but so many studies. Who said this? Trisha. I did a live with her last night. She's a coach. We're gonna have her on. And she said, because she did a lot of mindset work because she was a professional MMA fighter.
Mm.
And one of the things she really like tacked onto was that they studied, I don't know who they are, but they were studying on Olympians. And when they were visualizing running across the finish line, winning gold, it had the same reaction in their brain as when
Ooh.
they did it in real life.
Ooh.
So
Yeah.
it's there if you can see it and dream it and think about it. Like, I know, like, mindset work and some of that visualization can be a little woo-woo for people. For me, I think it was. But
Yeah.
the more I tell myself, "I am going to do these things," have, like, a different
You
vibration
show
about what I'm
up.
doing. You show up different,
Yeah.
especially, like, my mom was in sales, like, her whole life, and she said, like, that was, it's how you show up, how you present yourself. I mean, I don't
Yep.
know if anyone remembers what Southern Living is. It's like, it was a magazine where it was
Oh,
really
Southern
popular.
living. Yes.
Southern Living.
I thought you said Saturn living.
Saturn.
I was like,
Southern
okay.
Living.
Okay.
And, you would have, like, it's kind of like the Tupperware, but, like, it
Yes.
was like a magazine, had different things, very southerny charm type stuff, and you would have parties and sell that. She was amazing at it because of her energy. She's so good at selling. She loves what she does. She was very, very, very good at it. I think they came, like, crashing down and burning, like, years later, but that's not the point of this story. But it's just your energy and what you're thinking and how you're thinking. Like, if you are waking up, example, my client was like, I would wake up and worry about not hitting the goal. I'm like, who is
Ooh.
putting this goal? I'm like, I didn't give you that goal. I said, let's focus on one
Right.
bottle of water. And you're like, I have to hit 3 bottles and track my protein perfectly. I'm like, who gave you that goal? She was like, me. I'm like, because you
Yep.
expect putting all this extra pressure and then, like, constantly worried, what if I don't hit it? What if I don't hit it? What if you switch that and just focus on, these are the things I'm going to do so I do hit it. And it's just
Yeah.
such a a mind switch to think that way, and I've just been really leaning into that, and I have more energy to do the work compared to thinking like, oh, I got to do this so I get this goal so X doesn't happen, right? I'm just not thinking that way anymore because that's not the energy I want to be in.
Yeah. I think it's interesting because it almost is as if with clients, I see this, they put this pressure on themselves to overwhelm themselves. I need to do all of these things because
Yeah.
it quote unquote looks better on paper. Like
Mhm,
if I'm doing
mhm,
all of these things, when in
mhm,
reality, that actually it's not helping you, right? Like it
mhm,
you don't get a gold star for doing more, right? You're not
mhm,
going to reach your goals by doing more and doing it
mhm,
sloppily. And sometimes it takes having those moments of like, holy fuck, like I'm totally overwhelmed. I like need to be called out. I'm not even drinking a bottle of water to then kind of strip it down to be like, okay, let's rework this. Let's rework how we're thinking about your goals and like even like you said, starting with the bottle of water. Starting just slow. There's never too small of a step. I don't think like
mhm.
not small wins, like
No, I don't
things a
either.
win. So
Yeah.
I like that thought of, there's a hair here. Thinking about just if there is kind of like an energy drain for you in
Mhm,
your life, how are you showing up to that? What are your thoughts around that? Because it's probably you that's causing the energy drain and no one else is putting the pressure on you, right?
yep,
Especially as
100%.
women, we put extra pressure on ourselves.
So this is why we're sick and why we have a higher rate of autoimmune diseases. I'm
Yep.
telling you. I'm
Yep.
telling you right now. But no, I agree. And like, that client was really struggling. And then I said, we are focused on one bottle of water. Give me one bottle of water. She was getting really bad calf cramps, and like
Ooh.
debilitating because she was dehydrated.
Yep. Yep.
And after we did another call like 2 weeks later, and she goes, the calf cramps went down, and I'm drinking 3 bottles of water a day. I'm like, amazing. Let's just focus on that. Just
Yeah.
focus on that. And then she brought on the extra pressure of more things. I'm like, who
Yep.
said to do that? No one told me. She's like, I know, but And then I asked her, how are the calf cramps? Oh, I forgot about them. Oh, that's cool, right?
Yeah.
So it's just little things like when you get confident about doing something small, I'm like, oh, I can accomplish this. I can add something else to
Mm-hmm.
this. I know I can handle it. And at some points, we talk about capacity a lot in the business aspect, like what more can you carry and take on? And you're going to have different capacities in different points of your life. Great example. When I was sick, I had the capacity to do nothing. I had the capacity to open my eyes and breathe. That was
Mm-hmm.
literally it. I did not have the capacity to heal myself until I got on medication that enabled me to move. And then I got in 2023, I was like, this is the year I have the capacity to do it. And I did it, accomplished it. Now I feel like, okay, that's like kind of one thing off my plate. What more can I add to it? So
Mm-hmm.
you're not always going to have the same capacity for what you're doing. So whatever, I think wherever you're at, you need to like take a survey. Like, what can I take on right now
Yep.
that I'm able to do for my health? Maybe it's drinking a bottle of water. Maybe it's just going for a walk. But like I say, I've been saying a lot lately, it's just health and fitness is the gateway to self development. And there are so many things I wouldn't have reached with self development if I didn't get into health and fitness. And so you
Mm-hmm.
can get there. Your life's going to change a lot, but it's just, I think checking your capacity is like really important in that aspect.
Yeah. And oftentimes people don't allow themselves to
Mm,
adjust their
yeah.
plan based on their capacity. And I'm always like, girl, we
So
got
true.
flexible. And it's just this is such an interesting conversation to continue with. Because mindset work is not sexy, right? Like it's not what
Mhm.
draws people in, but it's what ultimately we end up working on the most because if you're not thinking about your goals in an attainable way, and you're constantly getting overwhelmed and it's just like in your head, it's like that scene from SpongeBob where he's like, there's a million of him and like there's fire and they're throwing out all the files. Like that is you.
Yep.
That is your brain.
Yep.
And no one's gonna be successful in that, but you have to be ready to be like, all right, I'm trying to get rid of the fire. I'm here.
Mhm.
I'm ready to do this work. And it's like
Mhm.
amazing what you're fucking capable of. Amazing.
Mhm. I think that's the beauty of having a coach because
Mm,
I've done this for my clients. I'm sure you have. We talked about it before. Lacey's done this for me. Is that when you were having those SpongeBob brain on fire, throw away all the files, burn everything down,
yeah.
that's because you're assigning emotion to not hitting an expectation that you gave
Yep.
yourself.
Yep.
And our job as a coach is to take the emotion out, take the shame out of it, because shame is like when you're very egotistical about yourself and you're only thinking about yourself.
Yeah.
You know, no one else is like, no one is sitting here being like,
Did
oh,
Maddie did Maddie hit her protein today? Oh, fucking idiot loser. Like,
no, everyone is thinking about themselves.
yep.
And I think
Yep.
truly having someone to be like, hey, let's not think of ourselves in that way. Let's just look at it from like, okay, why did it not happen? What was in our way? What blocks did we have around this goal? And who gave you that goal? Who says you have to reach that goal?
Mm,
That's where, when you can shift, you're going to make more progress. I mean, I think the most successful people are the people that can pivot when they are finding themselves fall short,
mm,
and see where their like shadows are, where they're falling short, but also have a healthy dose of believing the shit out of themselves and what they're
yeah.
doing.
Yeah. If you do not believe in yourself, no one else fucking will.
No, I mean, how many times have I said that, at some point, at one point, I think all of us health coaches, for lack of better terms, but we all want to save everyone. We all want to
Mm,
save everyone. And then it comes to a point where you realize we can't save everyone. I mean, I had a lady, I was back when I coached CrossFit, and I would coach CrossFit classes, and then I would do on ramp, which was like to teach people how to do CrossFit. And then I
yeah.
would get one on one clients from there because a lot of times they weren't ready to go into CrossFit. So I got her in a one on one, and I remember she finished her package and then she was like, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Like she was very overweight, a smoker, drinker. And I'm like, I can't save everyone. I can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like my first dose of I can't do that. And, I don't know where I was going with this, but oh, you can't save everyone. Just like you have to want that for yourself.
Yeah. That's like low key a crazy thing.
Oh, I know. I was just like, bam, like, okay. I don't know where she is. I can't imagine it's a very healthy place. Hopefully,
Eesh.
maybe. Maybe she had
An epiphany.
a wake-up call. Yeah, but,
Maybe.
yeah,
Oh, I don't know.
probably still partying. Who knows?
She's here for that good time. Like, I don't know, lady, but shout out whoever you are.
Maybe RIP. I don't know.
I'm gagged.
I don't remember her name or anything, so I couldn't even give it that. But
So
yeah,
we
that was
can't stalk her on Facebook.
no, it was a long, honestly, how many years ago? Sometimes I get my timeline messed up to like when I did what, where I was, because I was
Yeah,
coaching at so many gyms.
right.
But yeah, don't know. Can't even
Well,
tell you.
we wish you well.
I wish you well.
Have you seen that it was an interview with Cardi B, I think. It was like, we wish you well. I wish you well in hell.
Yeah, yeah. She's
I'm
hilarious.
like chronically. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, are there any closing thoughts that you want to bring into July? Because again, this is our first July ep, and July is
Mm,
going to be
yep,
epic. Ep,
it
it's
is.
it's our EP episode.
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah, that's true. Yep. Um, I think just remembering that you're the only person putting extreme expectations on yourself. And just because you didn't hit them doesn't mean it wasn't worth shooting for a goal in particular.
Yep.
And, it's totally fine to have big, big goals, but we can't beat ourselves up constantly for not hitting them.
Yeah, I agree. I like to set up. big goals, but then also like micro goals and
Yeah.
kind of keep you going along the way because it's all about
Mhm.
confidence, right? Yeah. Do you have any programs? I know Start to Lift is when this comes
Yes.
out. Where are you at with that?
Yeah. We start July 1st, but if you want to sneak in, you can still get in. And we are in my private group, my private membership group. So you're off of Facebook. So be in a challenge where you're not like able to dissociate on Facebook or lose it in the notifications. So really excited about that. There's like 30 women in there right now. So it's like a hot and popping group. So I'm excited for that. But I will put the link in the show notes to join to learn how to lift, get stronger, get snatched waist, whatever you want. And we're going to do that with lifting weights. And you don't have to have any, I almost said expertise, any experience, right? We're going to learn how to do that.
Yeah,
So,
I love that. Um, Closing thoughts are especially going into, I think July is like the start of summer, truly, especially like it's been freaking cold here. But I think keeping your expectations like really just clear with yourself. Um, because the more you add onto your plate, the more you're getting overwhelmed. It's so easy to like drop yourself as a priority, right?
mhm,
And that's kind of what we're doing inside of my free challenge. It's going to be starting 7/1 and this comes out a couple days later so you can still get in. But in the aspect of your health, we're talking about nutrition in a way to just really simplify it and to take out all of the overwhelm and like the analysis paralysis you get when you're on TikTok and you have like 85 different influencers telling you about their diets, or you see like what Sabrina Carpenter eats in a day. And that's a lot
mhm,
of just background noise that you don't need. And over the 7 days, we're going to have a lot of potent trainings that you're going to be able to leave and feel like, oh, I actually know how to eat more protein and I know where I can get fiber in instead of like doom scrolling TikTok and hoping that you find some sort of like diet um and getting lost in the sauce of fucking social media and trying to look for help. Like Maddie said, you're disassociating all over the goddamn place. And I've been
yep.
there, but let's not get our diet information off of TikTok.
Hundo Pacento.
Yeah. And that's let's put a bow on it and tie this bitch up because I'm
And
looking
that's
at
on
the
that. Thank you guys so much for listening or watching Kinda Hot, Kinda Healthy. Please make sure to subscribe, give us a 5-star review, and share us with your girlfriend who needs to hear this. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere where you can stream podcasts. If you have a burning question about life, friendships, health, and 1 or 2 cents, email us at kindahotpod@gmail.com. That's KINDAHOTPOD at gmail.com. Bye.
Hi.